Hey people, what's up? And I'm back with another video, and today's video is all about sunscreens. I have seen many of you who do not apply sunscreen, and some of them believe that it leaves a white cast. On the other hand, some believes that it triggers acne and breakouts. Today in this video we will discuss about all these problems and the scientific facts behind it and learn how sunscreen is crucial for our skin. Sunscreen acts as a barrier that protects us from the harmful rays of sun. So there are two types of UV rays, that is UVA and UVB. Basically, UVA rays is responsible for skin cancer and tends to age the skin. On the other hand, UVB rays typically cause sunburn. Sunscreen can be of two types. It can be a physical sunscreen or a chemical sunscreen, and today I have both the sunscreens with me. So the first sunscreen that I have with me is Neutrogena Dry Touch Sunblock 50+ SPF. This is a chemical sunscreen, and the physical sunscreen that I have is from the brand Momsco, and it's mineral based sunscreen, so it is a physical sunscreen. First question that will be in your mind is, what is the difference between chemical sunscreens and physical sunscreens? Chemical sunscreen tends to absorb the UV rays and dissipate it into the skin in the form of heat and then release it from the body. On the other hand, physical sunscreens tends to sit on the top of your skin and it basically reflects the UV rays. Let me show you something. It's Neutrogena sunblock, and I'm taking this much of product and let's blend it. It is a chemical sunscreen, so it gets absorbed completely into the skin, as you can see, and it doesn't leave any white cast because it contains some active ingredients like oxybenzone. Let's try out physical sunscreen. So this is the physical sunscreen as I introduced you, and let's take just one pump of this sunscreen. Okay, so this much is sufficient, and let's blend it. It is hard to blend because it contains active ingredients like titanium dioxide and zinc oxide, and it will leave a white cast. The people who have problem with the white cast is not just because the cream is not suitable or it is not formulated in a right way. That's because it contained titanium dioxide and zinc oxide in it, and that's why it leaves white cast and it will disappear after some time. So you need not to worry about it, and you can see the difference. And it will get absorbed after some time. It will not get absorbed, it will disappear after some time. Chemical sunscreen contains some active ingredients like avobenzone, oxybenzone, and so on. I'll show you the ingredient list on the screen, or you can check my Instagram handle. I used to upload a lot of information on my Instagram account, so please do check it. If you really want to know the basic difference between the chemical sunscreen and the physical sunscreen, so the basic difference between the chemical and the physical one is that it is formulated with chemical compounds and the physical one is formulated with natural mineral compounds. You may find a lot of sunscreens out there that combine both the properties of physical and chemical sunscreens. The next question that comes is how to find a right sunscreen. For that, you have to check the labeling and make sure that the sunscreen is broad spectrum. Broad spectrum means that the sunscreen can protect us from both the UV rays, that is from UVA and UVB rays. And according to FDA, a sunscreen is said to be broad spectrum only if protect us from both the rays. And a sunscreen that passes certain tests can only be called as broad spectrum. So make sure that your sunscreen is labeled as broad spectrum. Second comes oil free if you are oily skin type. Third comes fragrance free if you are sensitive to fragrance. Make sure your sunscreen is paraben free because sunscreen is a leave-on product and paraben is not safe. And the most crucial point that comes while choosing a sunscreen for yourself is SPF. I will suggest SPF 50 or 50 plus to those who use chemicals in their skincare routine, and higher the SPF means the higher the protection, and SPF is the sun protection factor. So if we increase the SPF, the filtration of UVA and UVB also increases. So the higher the SPF, the higher is the filtration and the higher the protection. Next question that comes in the mind, should we reapply the sunscreen after every 2 or 3 hours? Some companies and brands also claim their product to be water resistant. So is it true that we can apply a sunscreen once in a day? We don't need to apply it again and again? Listen to me carefully. No sunscreen is completely water resistant. So you have to reapply your sunscreen after certain hours if you are continuously in sun exposure. You also need to see the seal of recommendation over the labeling. There are two seals, that is the daily one and the active one. Daily sunscreen is awarded to sunscreen that intended to protect us from brief everyday sun exposure. On the other hand, active seal is awarded to those sunscreen which protects us from prolonged sun exposure. So let's talk about this particular chemical sunscreen and its ingredients. So it contains 3 to 4 sunscreen compounds. So the reason behind using 2 or 3 sunscreen in a single tube is that some chemical compounds are highly photostable but they have weak UV absorbing capabilities. So to maintain the balance, we use 3 to 4 compounds in a single tube in order to give a sustainable UV protection. So in order to provide proper photostability and the UV protection, we need 3 to 4 compound in a tube. This sunscreen contains benzophenone, that is also called oxybenzone. This is a controversial element, though it absorbs very quickly into the skin, but we really want our sunscreen to be at the top of our skin, not in the bloodstream. In fact, the component gets absorbed so quickly into the skin that it can be detected in urine after 4 hours of application. And this is one of the reasons why we need to reapply the sunscreen. I've already talked about the parabens in the sunscreen, and it also contains paraben. It has methyl paraben and propyl paraben in it. Your sunscreen should be non-comedogenic, that means it shouldn't clog the pores, and this one is non-comedogenic. In fact, both of them is non-comedogenic. For people with a sensitive skin, I will not recommend any of the chemical sunscreens, and you should check the ingredients first, and this is my recommendation. And it contains oxybenzone, which is already a controversial component. That's why I stopped using it and purchased a physical sunscreen for myself. This physical sunscreen contains a lot of natural mineral compounds like titanium dioxide and zinc oxide, and the ingredient list is full of natural components. It has some natural ingredients that can trigger acne, so I really recommend you to wash your face thoroughly. So frankly speaking, I have used this product only twice, and right now I'm testing it, so I will conclude this product in some of my other videos. So this particular sunscreen is with SPF 50 plus and water resistance for 2 hours, and it has a protection grade of PA++. On the other hand, the chemical sunscreen has a protection grade of PA+++. There are 3 levels of protection grade of sunscreen. The first is PA+, second is PA++, and third is PA+++. So this is basically the level of protection from UV rays. So PA++ provides moderate protection from UV rays. On the other hand, PA+++ means triple plus provides strong protection against UV rays. Next question, does sunscreen cause acne? So wearing sunscreen will not give you acne. And if you really feel that every time you apply sunscreen you end up with acne, that's because you do not wash your face properly. It's very difficult to take off sunscreen, so you need to cleanse your face thoroughly. You can use deep cleansing method, you can use double cleansing method, or you can use oil based cleansers. In order to remove heavy sunscreen, we really need to find out a cleanser that can break out the heavy formula effectively. I'll conclude everything by saying that sunscreen can be a game changer for your skincare routine. So don't skip sunscreen when you're stepping out in the sun. And that's all for today's video. Hope you find this video helpful. Thank you and bye-bye.